So let's go ahead and dive into our first exercise. And this exercise is simply called memories because you are going to tune into the memories that you have of a specific person that you want to reach. Now, it might be tempting to think about several different people that you would like to connect with on the other side, but through this course, I'm going to ask you to think about just one person. Okay, who is the person that you want to connect with the most? And what's interesting about this is the person that you thought of is most likely standing next to you and planted that thought in your head. So they're wanting to make that connection with you as well. So the other thing that I need you to know is while this exercise is going to be very easy, it may also be emotionally difficult. So if you get to a point where you're feeling overwhelmingly sad or anxious, just stop the video, take a few deep breaths, see if you can get yourself to that place where you're feeling calm and you're ready to dive back into this exercise. And if it's too difficult, just stop it for a couple days and come back when you feel ready, okay? No one is rushing you on this. And I know that you really want to make that connection with your loved one, but your loved one's not going anywhere. He or she is already on the other side. You can take your time. They are in no rush. They're eager to speak to you, but they have a different concept of time than we do. So just take your time through this and know that it is perfectly okay to go through periods of rest and periods where maybe you need to gather your thoughts and really kind of calm down your emotions before you can get to the next stage, okay? So in this exercise, we are going to focus in on key components of a person that we want to connect with. And so what I'm going to do is just ask you to close your eyes and to remember specific things regarding this person. And the reason I'm having you do this is because I want you to get a very clear sense of their presence. I want you to remember what it is that they smell like, what it is that they feel like when their presence was in the room. So we're going to run over some exercises that will help you to do just that. So go ahead and close your eyes and take in a nice big deep breath in and breathe out. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. And pay attention to your body and get as comfortable as possible. You may find that you need to move around a little bit. Maybe you need to shake the tension out of your shoulders. So just do whatever feels natural and what feels most comfortable to you. And once you get into that position where you're feeling well, I want you to think about the person that you want to make a connection with. And the very first thing that I want you to do is pay attention to their face. Notice their face. Notice their eyes, their nose, their mouth, color of their skin, color of their hair, length of their hair. Move down to their clothing. What are they wearing? Take a look at their hands. Look down towards their legs. Are they wearing shorts, pants? Look at their shoes. Now just kind of in your mind's eye, see them as an entire person standing before you. And you may want to notice, what age are they? Are they showing themselves as maybe a younger person in their teenage years? It's not unusual for them to show themselves being in their 30s or 40s, or maybe you're seeing them as they appeared later in life in their 60s, 70s, or 80s. So just pay attention to what you see. We do this because when we think about our loved ones, it's like we're putting a beacon out into the universe. And our loved ones know when we're thinking of them because they are complete energy at this point. They are telepathic. And so when we start to remember them in extreme detail, it serves as an invitation for them to come to us. What I'm wanting both you and spirit to do is to create a picture in your mind of how this person is going to start appearing to you from here on out. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this invitation again, and we're going to ask that loved one to show us how they want to appear. So go ahead and in your mind's eye, just put that invitation out there. Say the person's name and say, show me how you'd like me to remember you. And just kind of see what comes to mind. Did their features change? Did their face change? Did their hair color change? There may have been some type of shift. There may have been nothing at all. If there was a shift, they're showing you that this is the presentation that they want you to keep with you. This is how they want to be remembered, and this is how they're going to appear to you from here on out. So as we get deeper into this course, this is the projection that they will use in your mind to let you know that this is who you're speaking to, that you are in fact connecting with that loved one. The next thing I want you to do is to remember their voice. So if this was someone who sang a lot, imagine in your mind's eye that they are singing and just get familiar with that sound. Or if they were someone who joked a lot or talked a lot, or if they had a very unique laugh, we're going to quiet down because I want you to tune into that. So right now, remember their voice. Okay. Now the next thing I want you to think of is the fragrance this person may have had. Did they wear a certain fragrance? Did they have a specific scent that they enjoyed? Did they smell like maybe lavender oil? Did they work with essential oils? Did they bake a lot? Did they maybe smell like chocolate because they were always cooking? So just think about the different fragrances that you associate with this person. And if you don't have any fragrances that you associate with this person, that's fine. But if you do, let's go ahead and tune into that. Okay, so the next thing that I want you to think of is the person's presence. And this is very important because this is where their energy signature comes into play. And this is how you're going to be able to sense them when they are near you, when they come into the room and they're close by you. So think of the different times when you may have felt this person walk into the room behind you, or when you just knew they were in the same room with you when you weren't even looking at them. When they were alive, what did this feel like? When they walked into the room and you knew they were there? What did it feel like when you turned your back to them and they were still in the room? Kind of get a sensation for that and really tune into that energy, tune into the feeling of their presence, and see what that feels like. The other thing that you may want to think of is whether or not they made a certain sound when they walked into the room. Like, for example, my grandma, towards the end of her life, she walked with a cane and a walker, and so we would hear the cane and the walker as she scooted it forward, but it also just kind of had this specific, I guess you could say, a vibration to it, a feel to it. So you may even want to hone in on specific things like that. So if someone had a different way of walking that you knew it was them when they walked into the room before you turned around, you can tune into that too. Okay, so now what I want you to do is bring your awareness back to my voice. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, move your neck from side to side. I want you to bring your awareness back into the now. Pay attention to the temperature of the room that you're in. Pay attention to the chair that you're sitting in. How does it feel? And slowly, slowly, slowly open your eyes. Whenever we come out of a meditative state, because you were in a meditative state, we want to come back to our current world slowly, because when you just open your eyes quickly and if you don't kind of walk yourself into the awareness of the present moment, it can actually kind of jolt you. And during this course, we want this to be as gentle as possible, right? We don't need to be jolted. Now, if you feel drained after this exercise, that is completely normal. You just did what I would call energy work. You started to focus in on a specific energy signature, and really what you're doing is you're starting to put your feelers out there and make your way into the spirit world. So that's what you just did. You are starting to break through the barriers, break through the veil of the spirit world so you can connect with a specific person. That last exercise where you focus on their presence and what it feels like when they're in the room, that's a big one. That's a big one. And if you found that exercise to be difficult, especially that last part, that's okay. You can go back and you can do it again. All right. In fact, before you move on to the next session, you may want to go over this one a few more times, because what we're doing is we are training your mind and your energy to tune into this specific energy, so that when you consciously want to make a connection with this spirit, the connection is already there. You know, you've already made the connection. The next part of the course is building the communication, learning how to speak to the spirit world, and learning how to get those messages back. So that's going to be the next part of this course. So self-care is the theme of the day. After this, be very kind, be very gentle, be very compassionate with yourself. Take the rest of the day very easy. You need to replenish your energy. So with that said, I am going to turn off this camera because you need to get some rest. Remember, wait a full day before you go into the next exercise. And if you feel like you want to do this exercise over again and you really want to, strengthen those clairs, which is what you worked with. You worked with what we call clairs, which are psychic senses. By all means, go back and do that, okay? You can absolutely do that again today if you want to. All right, so I will see you in the next video.